Okay. Let's take, do I take the roll call? I don't take the roll call, do I? So Nick,
Here.
Ben,
Here.
Dick,
Here.
and myself, and Alison is Rick, approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Nick. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
I abstain.
Yes. Do we have any communications from anybody? Or anybody that, anyone in the
From the public?
audience?
I think nothing is good.
Don't rush
You
your
have nothing to
minds.
say? Okay.
Do we have any old business to discuss?
This time, nothing on the agenda.
This is going well, isn't it?
You're running an excellent meeting.
Seriously?
New business, tree policy review.
So I'll give a little brief background, but it does kind of cover it in the staff report. So this was one of the work plan items. And I know it's been a conversation on an ongoing basis for a couple of years. So attached is the actual policy that does govern our current operations. And so this is a citywide policy. The golf course is included in this. Obviously, it dates back to 1999. So this item is an opportunity for the golf committee to opine if they'd like to see something different, if we want to bring this forward for more action to be taken, or does it work the way it's written? You could receive and file and move on. Really open to your guys' discussions, and Jordan might be able to give more details if you guys have specific questions. The big thing in this is that the city doesn't remove trees for use, and any tree removal does require city manager approval, so there's some layers to go through.
We haven't been thinning enough to really reach job on 14.
Yes.
We can actually watch the ball game.
I can't hear you. What's that?
On 14, they cleaned the trees and all that around there.
Yeah, behind 13 in the back, on,
Yeah.
where you can, on tee box on 14, see the baseball.
Real nice job of clearing that stuff.
But they've done further, we played today, they've gone right, you know where you lose your ball if you go to the right?
Yeah.
It's all cleared out. There's only trees there now.
On 14?
On 14.
Oh,
They've gone all the way up now.
Really?
Last week it was just that area of the baseball, and then today it's all the way, they were still there working, but they've moved all the way up, and the whole right side is just trees. You can see the houses at the top.
Oh,
It's
so there are
fabulous.
bushes.
That could
Bushes
get,
are gone.
Yeah, he's thinned a lot of it out. What we experienced has been a ton of deferred maintenance on trees in particular throughout the course, and it's something the residents chirp a lot about. And not for views necessarily, but just out of concern that they're overgrown. There's maybe a fire concern. So Jordan's done a really bang-up job since taking the helm to kind of divide and conquer the course. We are limited on our tree budget year to year, but we got additional funding this current fiscal year. We're going to get some additional funding for this upcoming fiscal year, and so we're trying to do as much work as we can throughout the course to clean it up.
No, we left on 12, by the green on 12, got thinned out. They actually found a trash can with golf balls in it. We were there the day they were cutting. We went and asked them. That's always been capturing golf balls forever. Left of the green on.
but on 14, where they went up a ways, did they thin it out enough that balls are going to start going through there?
Along Magdalena.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's an interesting area up there because those residents were concerned about trees and the overgrowth. And now on the other side of that, they are concerned about balls in their house, but it's a double-edged sword.
Right. They want to be able to see a little bit.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
about 14 trees in the work being done.
Yeah, it's a lot of work being done.
So we have not received any, I generally the praise has been that thank you for doing the trees on 14. I think we made a couple of folks really happy over there.
I'm assuming it'll help that 14th tee box get some more sunlight.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Because I know that one's always struggled.
Yeah.
You actually redid it not long ago.
Pardon me?
You redid that, returfed that box like what, 2 years ago, was it?
No, we just did a lot of aerification. We did some. I broke the deep tiner on it. We had one that was sitting there for 10 years, and I took it out, and then it was so hard that I actually broke the machine. But the result actually was really good because, I mean, 2-3 years ago it was like 50% turf. Like it was always just garbage. So yeah, more sunlight will definitely help. Airflow. Yeah, just having more air through that entire canyon will be really good. So.
But we were just saying how great it looked today.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Even just leaving the facility, the maintenance facility looks completely different. It's just so open, so, yeah, it's really good.
Is there any policy, and don't mean to steal your thunder, Dick, but replacing trees? That's.
Well, can you stop right there for a second? I got a couple of things. Number one is on 13th T, they've cleaned out a lot of the bushes to the right of the T.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that? I'm sure that that's maintained. That's a green area. I've saved that for 30 years. I don't want that thing taken out.
Yeah, we're just thinning it out to make a tee shot on the other side, because we're gonna move the gold tee box over to the right side.
Okay.
So we had to cut back a lot of that to kind of, you know, create a chute.
Yeah, and I just want to bring up, I pushed for years for a tree policy for the golf course, not a tree policy for the city. I don't care about the city, I do care about the city, obviously, the city streets, I mean, but it doesn't pertain to us so much. We did a study 15 years ago, if you remember, we had a book on trees, the trees that are acceptable to grow in this area that are not taking water from the greens, or not root bound, or going out and causing root problems. I don't know if I still have that, I have to look that up, but it's a policy, not just to replace trees, but that's inclusive. But just a policy that we think about, and we go to replace the trees with trees that actually add to the golf course.
Yeah.
That don't go sky high, 40, 60, 70 feet high, that blocks views and people bitch about it. But that we actually, if we lose trees on, for instance, 13, we lost 2 pine trees on the right by the cart path, and we lost 2 trees in the back. We lost 3 trees, what they call it. 3 or 4?
Just 2.
No, we lost.
So we lost 2
2
by the
side.
green, and then we lost 1 in front of the ladies' tee. But like, it's got to make sense for us to replace a tree. Like, we're not going to replace that tee or that tree that fell over.
I don't
Like,
think.
we're not just going to do it willy-nilly. But yeah, if it all makes sense, yeah, absolutely.
And for instance, I was telling Ben, when you look at the tee box, looking up at the green on 13, it was framed, where it's framed. And it framed the hole, remember? And it looked really good. It's off pattern now.
Yep.
When we did 5, the 5th, we put palm trees in that looked great. But the trees we had before blocked the bathroom and actually framed that hole. So,
Well, from what I recall, it was ficus trees we removed because they're completely invasive.
I don't disagree, George. What I'm
Yep.
saying is there are other trees to put in that would act as the same as the ficus, that would block the bathroom and kind of frame the hole. I just think that if we have a policy going forward, that it'll be much better for the golf course. I know as a superintendent, you don't want trees. I mean, you'd rather have it all. Gus doesn't want to talk about trees. But I understand that.
No, I love trees, but there's got to be a lot of forethought
Yeah.
towards planting them for sure.
But
So I'm all for a tree policy, but it's got to have some wiggle room.
Okay.
Just the trees have to make sense for aesthetics and playability and the health of the turf too.
Deep rooted roots.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
what's
stone pines, like around 13 every summer, back to green dies, and that's because of the stone pines.
Yeah.
Same with 7 too, like, it's a constant battle, so that's something we gotta think about as
But
well, like
we
stone
cut
pine
the-
isn't a species.
We cut the roots right back there, all the roots all the way down.
Yeah, and that's like $10,000,
Yeah,
and that's every year,
and
It's
it's over here.
every year.
Oh, good.
So is the want from the committee to see, what I'm hearing is a separate policy specific to the golf course.
Yeah.
but also addresses potentially, and I'll look into the 15-year ago kind of research and things that you guys compiled, you probably have it in our records, but I want to look at really what trees are appropriate for the golf course, and then, but also give some liberty to the superintendent or the staff to use their best expert judgment as well, depending on the scenario. Do you want replacement if one goes down
No,
to
I mean,
replace?
it's like, for instance, the back of the 13th green. Stone pines are bad back there.
Right.
Maybe there's another tree.
Okay,
There's a whole book, it's this thick of all these different trees that grow in our area, that can grow
Right.
well around here. So, I'm not, and maybe there is nothing but a stone pine, I don't know, but I just think that's the policy I'm looking for, yes,
Okay.
basically.
so we can look to bring that back if the committee wants to motion, second, and give us direction to bring a draft policy back that gives those details. We can look to do that at our next meeting.
Also motion.
Yes, all of those things.
So we would want to do not just, replace trees that you pull out with more appropriate trees, but also look to add additional trees, right? Where there used
Tree
to
policy,
be,
yeah.
yeah, is part of that. So it's not just a
It's all
one
part
for
of
one.
it. It's a, you gotta get started with the policy first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you make a motion?
I made a motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, that's easy.
Third quarter golf course activity report. Well, this is from,
It's really more of a receive and file.
yes, yes. So I was going to ask, is that something that will be done, there will be another upcoming golf inspection of the green, of the course from the committee? Or is that something that?
Oh, the report?
Well, I mean, will there be another report? So we had one last time.
Right, so there would probably, we reviewed the one from last time, Dick and I were just talking, the next time we'll be doing the green subcommittee report.
Yes.
It'd probably be for the next,
For the next
one a year,
one.
but we do multiple.
No, usually once a quarter, we didn't do this, but.
Yeah, okay, so we'll have to do one for the next.
Okay, end of June, is that okay, Jordan?
End of June is no good. I'll be having a baby, so.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Beginning of June then.
Let's do one next month.
I'm.
we can do like after.
When are you back?
Around the 15th, 16th,
Of June?
June.
When is your little one due?
I can do beginning of June,
He's gonna be gone.
Not-
When do you leave?
not mid to late though.
I leave May 17th, I'm gone for a month.
Can we do next week?
Can you do that?
Next week, I think that's.
Before he's gone?
Yeah, I think next week should work.
It's fine. Morning.
Which day works better for you, or you?
I feel like I have something going on. I think.
Just-
We'll email,
just let us know.
we'll text,
Yeah.
we'll send an email like we did last time.
Yeah,
Friday morning doesn't work for me, so, but any other morning works for me usually.
Nice.
yeah. I think Thursday is good for me.
Thursday morning?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
tell
do
you
it, Tori, we'll have it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Thursday morning, okay.
So I've skipped one minute agenda.
Yeah, yeah.
Cleaning your own hat.
Got
It's okay. You're doing a great job.
Justin, third quarter golf course activity report, do we have anything?
Yeah, so it was a busy third quarter. We got the tree planted on 16. So glad that's all over with. I haven't heard any complaints, any phone calls, so it's a good thing. If there's silence, that means it's a good thing.
How's it taking?
Did the guy sell his house, does he get his house for sale?
Yeah,
It's gone, he's gone, isn't
Yeah.
We put it up for sale the very next day.
And that whole area
Talk
is
about,
great, what you've done to the T-Fox and everything.
Getting placed.
What kind of tree you put in there?
Canary Island's pine.
Oh, pine,
Pine, yeah.
not a palm.
No, not palm, so it'll just,
There's a Canary Island palm and there's a Canary Island pine.
yeah.
No
For
kidding.
sure. Yeah. So it's, it's just gonna grow upwards and not out.
Okay.
So it shouldn't affect the tee shot any more than it is. So it'll just grow a little taller. Yeah, it looks like it's doing well. We're hand watering it every other day now, so.
How much
just
did
make
it
sure
cost?
survives. It was 25,000.
Oh, my goodness.
with everything.
But you should have seen the number of guys who were installing it.
Getting it there, putting it
It
in.
was, I was watching them bring it in. and
Unloading it off the truck, I thought it was gonna fail, like, this is not gonna work, like, it took them probably 2 hours just to get it off the truck, like, I was nervous.
What's the mix between actual cost of tree versus transportation and installation?
Oh, I bet you it was
5 and 20?
Yeah.
10%. The actual materials.
Tree wasn't the price.
Unbelievable.
It's changed the angle though,
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah.
When you put that tee box on the far left, people are gonna hit it. Wait, you're gonna have to hit it way right.
yeah, no, for sure.
Are we completely gone from the blue tee? Are we going back?
No,
There,
that's-
it's not there,
that's-
it's- yeah,
Sorry, I haven't been there. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
that's what he's planted the tree and he's
And-
moved
and
the
re-
box, it's all.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's good.
great, great.
It's good.
Super, that's
And,
right.
and no complaints.
I can't hit those tees anymore, but it's really, it's a great golf hole.
Yeah, I'm just glad we didn't put a net up.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
terrific.
how I'm looking at it.
Good.
We didn't put a net up, so that's a big, that's a positive in all of this, for sure, so.
Anything else, Justin?
Oh, yeah. So, we did that, we completed aerification of the greens, so that went over well. We, lowered the net on 13,
Yes.
so, again,
And
haven't heard anything.
They're very happy.
So we replaced the top, and then we did the little in-house project, just to kind of save some money, and we did, we had some screen, upstairs, just laying around, like just some green screen, so we utilized that, and you know,
Hope
did
kids
that.
don't get stupid and cut it.
Yeah, let's hope not, for sure.
So
So,
Linda's emailed me a couple times saying how great it is, and she appreciates it.
it's
so
effective, yeah,
Yep.
good.
Good.
So, yeah, that's about it for our, third quarter activity report, and now we're just focused on the golf course. It's, you know, it's summertime now, like after aeration, it's full on, the grass is growing like crazy, and, you know, we've got 3 guys that we're still training, they're doing well, and I'm still working on getting an irrigation upgrade, so I'll be excited.
Are you fully staffed now?
No, we're still short an assistant superintendent, and we're not staff, like, the 3 people that we have hired are temps, like, they're not city employees, so.
Is that rec still out for the assistant? I mean, I know you guys are.
It is, I think, I'm gonna try to get it closed next week, so we can start the interview process.
Oh, have you
Oh, you've
got
got
candidates?
candidates?
Yeah, I got one really strong one, so hopefully everything,
Great,
Great.
that'd be good for you.
everything works out in his background, so.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a couple others that are, you know, okay, but it's tough. We had to keep that job open a lot longer than I anticipated, just because of the market, and every single golf course is hiring. So we're in competition with everybody. It's not like how it was 5 years ago, not at all. Like when I was looking for assistant jobs, it's a completely different market, so, yeah, we have to keep it open just to get the right person in there.
So you mentioned the grass is growing. Any thought to let the rough grow a little bit? I noticed there were a couple weeks where it was a little longer and it really defined the fairway a lot.
Yeah, we're mowing it, but we're at 2 inches. I know, in the past, the previous superintendent would always drop the rough height. And I didn't do it because of that reason. I like the definition for one, and second, it's pretty labor intensive, our mechanic. We have really old, like, decks, so it's not like a real mower or something like that. Like, it takes a lot of time to adjust it, so I just said, you know what, let's just keep it high, and yeah, we'll go into summer with just higher rough, and if you have to cut it twice, then that's okay. We got 2 rough mowers, so.
Yeah, because I noticed that and I thought, look, it gives
Yeah.
a lot more definition.
It's great, but it's not so great for the double-digit handicappers. It makes it a little tough
It's
to
still.
get out of the rough.
Yeah. Sure.
Any comments, Justin, on the activity report that you want to draw attention to at all?
Activity report.
With the figures?
Oh. Yeah, no, we're doing a lot of rounds. We're crazy busy. We did 250 rounds yesterday, the first day we opened up on aerified greens, and I think that's a record. Like, I don't know any other golf course.
Well, I was the men's club.
Still, like, it's crazy. Like, even today, we probably did 150. Tuesday, we did 92 rounds, like, on temporary greens. Like, it's,
Wasn't bad. I mean, Sam,
yeah, no, I played a few holes, and
wasn't bad at all.
they're just slow. They're still breaking, which is nice. Like, you guys still have to read the putt. You can't, you're not just hammering it straight at the cup. So they're still, you know,
Yeah,
they're still rolling fairly like halfway true.
and yeah, 17.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, we're up 11% on rounds already.
Yeah.
Great.
That's amazing.
Is there any indication from the city that they want to increase the prices, or are we okay with the prices?
So I would recommend that we do another fee study or look at fees again next year. So, we did it in '21, we're gonna let this year kind of smooth out, and then maybe at our next meeting, we kick off looking at that again, and then getting it to council the beginning of the following year. I think that's a really healthy pattern to go on.
Yeah, because in the marketplace right now, clearly the lowest by a
Yeah.
lot,
Oh, yeah,
by a lot. And it's
absolutely.
with increased costs that Jordan is facing.
Yeah, so that's going to tie really nicely into the city council through the employee MOU and negotiations with the association has landed a class and comp study for all full-time positions that will kick off on July 1st. So that last time they did that was about a decade ago or so, somewhere around there. So it's time to trigger that again, and that will likely return at some kind of level of this needs to be increased. I mean, certainly our groundskeeper positions, our golf positions are some of the lowest on the salary scale. So I would imagine, and what Jordan's seen in the private sector is everything's creeping up. So that certainly will drive what our fees, our green fees need to look like. I don't know when that's going to land. Class and comps can take anywhere from 6 months to 9 months because they are so expensive. But I think that's a great tie-in to the fee increase as well. The other item on budget as well, the city council is going to have a budget workshop at the end of May. Nothing earth-shattering out of the golf end. Jordan's got a CIP project to increase the height of the driving range netting along 6.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the biggest CIP you have
Mm-hmm.
at this point. So that'll be there. The want for the golf course is to only do that project to try to catch up a little bit, and then fiscal year 23, 24, we'll look to roll out maybe some bigger improvement projects and see what we can do with kind of what we make from there. The only other item I wanted to bring to the committee's attention, and this is maybe in light of Pool 16 and the whole conversation surrounding the blue tees, you guys have probably seen a little bit of an uptick in residents and surrounding neighbors of the golf course saying, hey, this is a problem, balls are hitting our house, they're hitting our property. I really want to encourage the committee to push those emails to myself. Try not to respond to them and take any type of formal action. That's to protect the committee, the city, and the golf course. So again, I think the statement of got your email, I'm going to forward it on, just so the committee knows and the public can know this too. What we do is I take those emails and I work with our risk management team. We consult with our insurance company and our attorneys on that end and try to come up with a good decision. So keep that in mind as you may be approached or emailed at various times. We're trying to not let this explode too much. To save the course.
And so, should I say we are going to receive and file with our quarter golf course certificate?
Point of information.
Yeah.
Okay, any Greens Committee update other than letting me know you're going to do another?
Yeah, really don't have anything to report this fall. We'll report next week. Yeah.
And then for the House Committee, Nick and I have been talking about Wedgwood a little bit, and I think that would be a nice idea
comment, Rick?
Wild West,
A lot of complaints about it.
okay.
I want to make a comment,
Sorry,
Rick,
you're
relative
gonna
to
have
Liz.
to, you're gonna have to speak up when you're
Oh,
talking.
sorry.
We can't hear
I'm
you.
sorry, Rick, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying, I run the fan golf tournament
Yes.
on the August the 8th. And so I had a committee meeting there Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
I got there at 3:30. Al Filger, you know, Al Filger's on the committee, a lot of other people. But anyway, so we had 9 of us, 8 or 9, 10 of us, like something. So I go in and I said, Al, where's the bartender? He says, I've been here for 10 minutes, I haven't seen anybody. So we waited and went in the back and I yelled, no answer. And there was a gal in the sales office on the phone, and I said, we need a drink. Okay, a minute. So we come outside, people start showing up. It's 4 o'clock, and I said, I'll be bartender. So I went down and opened a bottle of wine, got Cokes. I didn't do beer, and I didn't do any shots or anything like that, but just opened up a bottle of red wine. And I came up with the glasses, and some of them had lipstick on them. Two of the 4 glasses had lipstick on them. Can you believe this? Atrocious. Anyway, so we're back on more glasses. Anyway, we went through that wine. The meeting ends up at 5:15. 3 of us stayed and talked over another bottle. And so we had 2 bottles of wine. 6:30 we left, nobody had come out. I went back in the meantime. There was a guy cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the kitchen back there. I said, is there anybody to service anything? Because I gotta pay for this stuff. He says, no, I'm just here to clean. So the gal, I looked at the gal, and she's on the phone still. Nobody ever showed up. I left $20 under the empty bottle and left.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe this?
Wow.
This is 4 o'clock.
You got away with 2 bottles of wine for $20?
Give yourself a tip.
Yeah,
Seriously,
seriously.
$20, boy, you got away with it.
How much is the wine?
Probably $28 somewhere in that neighborhood.
Well, what does it cost them?
No?
No.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Apparently, they
What they're
don't
charging us.
They got $20 more than we should have given because nobody was.
She's not told anyone.
I found that there's like one person working and they're covering between the snack bar and they're running
Right.
back and forth. And golfers will come up to the snack bar and they're not there, so they have to drive off because whoever's working is trying to do both
She
jobs.
can't.
And they,
Yeah.
you know, it's not their fault. So I think we do need to,
It really is a breach of contract.
It is,
yes.
that's exactly what I'm hearing.
And I don't want you to get rid of it until after August the 8th, but I'm just saying, it's just not, it's not fair. And their answer is they can't hire anybody, and it's maybe true, but I don't know.
Well, they've had various answers. The COVID's been a big one, and people still are getting sick with it. and everything. But there's clearly I think they have got better since we had our last meeting, because they did have someone to cook for us at our last ladies' lunch.
They did.
They had a chef, and the chef could find it, but he was there. And there usually is someone manning the bar, but on a regular Tuesday, because that's the only day I go in, on a regular Tuesday, but there wasn't anyone that could cook anything hot on a normal Tuesday, so they would go down and make it down in the snack bar and bring it up. So the girls are working very hard, the staff are working very hard.
I don't envy your position, but it's really, I almost have to do something about it.
Okay.
They're making a lot of money on these weddings, you know, it's just, I know that's all they care about. We're their 43rd now, or 53rd, you know, we were the 20th, but now they have 53 venues. So it's huge. They're in Colorado, Texas.
Oh, yeah, we're all over the place.
Well, they don't do breakfasts and they don't do lunches.
Well, they are open to the breakfast, they do serve,
Last week, they were, Monday, they didn't have any food on Monday. Tuesday, they didn't have any food. The snack bar isn't open until 8:30 or so, and the golfers are out there at 6 o'clock.
well, I found going in on a Tuesday early, they are doing breakfast items. There's limited, it's a table or they have a breakfast burrito. That's all they do. So because they're not cooking, there's no chef.
Right.
The girls warm up, whatever it is. But they have been there, they have been open, I get there at 7 I'm not there at 6, I get there at 7. And
They
then I
must
can-
know you're coming.
Well, I'm not eating there, I sort of check to see if they're coming in and stuff, but I'm not really.
So Samantha, what do
Did
you
you say that
suggest?
was last Thursday, Dick? Is that what you said?
No, this Tuesday.
This past Tuesday, okay.
2 days ago. So should the subcommittee meet them first and talk?
Yeah,
about
I
it?
think that's an appropriate approach. I mean, we're due for a meeting with Eddie. We'll see first and understand what's happening. It sounds like it's very inconsistent still though.
So you guys, Nick and Mandy, have to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a stack the
Want
car.
to join us?
I will.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm working with Wedgewood, not Eddie, but their corporate offices. They have asked for, and this is like long overdue, they asked in 2020 for rent abatement during the pandemic, and I'm kind of working through that. They want more than what I would recommend as abatement. They operated at some point because they had the park was there, the snack bar eventually reopened, they had outdoor dining, so there's going to be some negotiating with them to walk them back on what they're asking. So that's kind of a pending item, and then certainly their operations today. I understand that the pandemic's hard for staffing, but they need to at least communicate that. That would be my concern, is this is the first I'm hearing of it, that, hey, we're having another staffing issue on Tuesdays. They're not floating that to me. And that's how I'm treating all the other concessions. As long as you're communicating one way or the other, we can have a good relationship. But when it's flat and it's just coming, I'm worrying about after the fact. So let's meet with the subcommittee, and then we'll provide an update to the committee after that.
Samantha, do you want me to reach out to Eddie to set up a meeting?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay, so any other, Nick, anything you want to bring up
Not presenting the restaurant.
about anything?
Oh, you get items from the committee?
Yes,
Okay.
committee items, sorry.
I have some things I'd like to bring up to Jordan. The men's club would like to, so it's okay with you, paint the tips on the post around 15? Because that's out of bounds, right? The split rail
Posts,
fence-
didn't, I thought
split
we
rail
just did
fence is
that.
out of bounds, right?
Yeah, we did that like 5 days ago.
The tips on that?
Mhm.
We just played yesterday, we didn't notice.
The tips on the fence, like if you're on the 16th tee, oh, you mean, oh, okay.
15.
15, sorry, I was saying 16 tee, yeah. Yeah, no problem.
We could do that?
Yep.
On
You're gonna paint
15
it white, right?
Yeah, just,
Okay.
yeah, so, because that's out of bounds.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody goes, no, the cart path is still in bounds. No, the fence is out of bounds.
yeah. Mm.
Fence
Yeah,
is
we need to find
Is that
what's out of
right?
bounds.
Really should paint
Fence is
OB
up.
on the cart path.
On the carpet, that's all the,
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
if you
because you can technically get a line in the cart path, but
If you
still, that you
Paint
can
the
put.
fence, the tips on the front of the split rail fence, that defines that as OB. Everybody, people go, no, the cart path is still in bounds. No, it's not.
all the way down, actually, all the way down.
Yeah, all the way down.
Mm.
And then number 5, by the bathroom. Paint the part of the fences or paint OB on the fence. People think that's just-
I will get staged for that. I don't want to paint that fence.
Okay.
That's like, no,
It's a-
that won't
It's
be
a
good.
park fence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a park fence,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll just bring white stakes and start from the street and then.
And also,
line it there.
we could paint ground under repair, where the paint,
Where?
where the big bald spots are.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you there.
I'm sorry, where the big bald spots are.
What?
To
Ground,
paint-
Ground
he wants to
repair.
paint ground repair on
Where?
those.
Where the big bald spots are.
Which are where?
Oh, balls.
Well, there's one on 7, under that big eucalyptus tree, about 100 yards out.
On the
Would that
right
be
hand
considered
side?
ground under repair?
Not really.
No?
I would,
No.
No,
that's-
I
that's-
don't-
that's-
that's George's.
yeah, I don't think that we should go ahead with that. We can do it like on big tournament days, but if we're painting, yeah.
We usually get gravel.
If we're paying underneath every tree well, that's not a good idea.
Well, okay, but there's some spots where it got muddy and.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
those spots, okay,
Well, that, yeah, you get an automatic drop if it's wet.
right.
It's wet.
So just to be sure that the men's club are not to do that.
No,
Okay.
well, no, not for the ground under repair.
Okay.
We, no,
Well, that's what
we
you're
have
asking
done
then.
it, we have done it before.
Right.
We've done it
But
because
we're just
it's
saying
decent.
don't do it this time.
But not that particular area. 16, when you're driving up that carpet, there's a big rut on the left-hand side.
Fix it today.
And,
We put plugs in.
and the bushes are growing way out.
Yeah, well, sure
So
goes
it's kind of
back.
hard to,
Those need to get trimmed like once a month. So, yeah, we'll get on it. They grow like crazy.
and
I
the other,
hate acacia.
and the other big thing was the back 17, no, number 7, the one the this playground, kid, Paul got hit at the playground up there.
Yeah,
Have
that's,
we decided what we're gonna do with that?
That's with our risk management
Yeah.
and attorneys right now.
Anything else?
Nope.
Ben?
Let's see, we took care of the cart path at 16, I would say. The carts are still driving up next to the greens
Yeah,
all the time. A couple of the worst offenders are people who own, private carts. Can we bring some ropes back in more? I know you hate ropes.
so honestly, from what I've seen over the years, is that, yeah, I don't want carts driving on the greens, but without those signs, we're getting less beat down areas. Like, when you're looking at the frame of the golf course, it's split up everywhere, whereas if we have signs, it's just a highway, like you just see a highway road going in front of the green to the cart path. So, yeah, don't drive next to the green, but at the same time, like,
We're getting people parking on the fringes and stuff. I know that you see it more than anyone.
yeah, I mean, it could
Then
create
you-
tough, it's not gonna get bent grass.
We need the marshals probably to.
Yeah, that's what I recommend, just
I
like,
mean, we've talked about it in every meeting, empowering the marshals as much, but,
Yeah.
if you're not a person who wants to,
they need
confront them in the first
teeth.
place.
They do need teeth.
And then maybe it's the kind of people too, it's tough.
Yeah, it's a personality.
Yeah, it's not.
yeah, we've had a lot of people quit because.
Right, 'cause they don't like being
they're
cursed at.
Oh, I thought I was just gonna be driving around,
Picking up golf
chit
balls.
chatting, but it's like, no, like, you need to, like, go talk to
Enforce the
them.
rules,
Yeah.
Let's go back in the days,
They're not bringing balls.
Well, I think that it does need to be specified what their duties are, because we had one marshal that came up and we had a foursome play, and we stopped and talked to one of the people who were playing. So what did he say? He said he was correcting my golf swing. He was telling them, your head wasn't down. That's not your job, to be correcting his golf swing. So it's like, I need to know what they're meant to be doing out there.
And then I have two things which we can save for our green store, just a couple of
Okay.
design elements, that thoughts that might work in our favor.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple things. One is, water is really becoming an issue. They may stop us from watering our grass. How does that affect you, or will it affect you?
Well, we're on effluent water, so we're kind of doing the city a favor.
And you still use potable water for the greens and stuff?
For the greens, yeah, but it's very minute compared to the rest of the golf course. We're not watering every day of the greens, so, yeah,
So
at this point, we're not really too concerned about it. We are using wetting agents that help us get things, get the water to be more efficient, and then, down the road, when we get the staffing, when we get like an assistant superintendent, we'll start looking at hand watering the greens, so that we're not watering wet spots. So that would be a great way to maximize the turf. Like, hand watering is the best, but we just don't have the staff right now, so. Once we start hand watering, we can also like hit surrounds too, and it's just a much more efficient use of water, so.
The other thing, Samantha, I've asked for a long time, can we get a P&L line item type of thing, or the golf course takes in so much money, we budget for so much?
Did we get that last time?
Yeah, it was in our last
We
in
did
our
that
last
last year.
meeting.
I didn't get that, sorry.
Okay, I'll send it to you again.
Yeah.
It was in our last
I
packet.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we asked for that time before.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have.
And the only thing I have is when you're doing your walkthrough, could you just, sort of make sure to check the silver and the gold teeth, because especially the silver teeth that are real, just to be sure they're in nice shape.
The actual T markers themselves?
No, the actual teeth.
Oh, okay.
Just to have a quick look at them, you know.
Mhm.
I forget to look at the silver teeth.